composition functions, but this time compositions. So we talked about the operations already. We talked about adding and subtracting, multiplying, and dividing, and how to evaluate those with adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Now this time we're going to deal with putting a function inside of a function and then evaluating. So we're going to compose a brand new function by putting a function inside of another function and simplifying it down. And then we're going to evaluate that new function that you created by composing two functions and putting one inside the other. Yes, it's going to be amazing. It's going to be wonderful. Woo, woo, woo. All right, so let's go to, first off, the rules that we have. And these are kind of rules. These are actually like what you're going to find. So our compositions of functions deals with fog, which is f of g of x, and golf, which is g of f of x, which again, hopefully you guys know this and remember this. I think you've seen it before. If you haven't, it's okay. Again, we're going to come back through this and we're going to talk about it. But again, golf, which is the second one, and fog, which is the first one. So really, what we're going to be talking about, there's an outside function here. And an inside function. So we're going to make that distinction. We're going to do that now. Because when we start dealing with our actual finding the values, finding the new functions, or composing a new function, what's on the outside function is important, and what's inside function is important, so you'll know when to use what. And again here for the second one, the g of x, or the g function, is the outside function. Because if you look at it, it's just outside of the parenthesis. It's outside of the parenthesis itself. And then our f of x function is our inside function, because it's inside the parenthesis. So f of x, g of x, these are the outside functions. These are your inside functions. The inside of it. Now, when it comes to the f of g of x, g of f of x, again, just like we said when it came to adding and subtracting, multiplying, dividing, when it comes to this, you have to be able to distinguish between the two and translate backwards and forwards. So they could give you fog, and they want you to know, they expect you to know, that means f of g of x. And if they give you golf, they expect you to know that means g of f of x. And that's the wording here. F of g of x and g of f of x. And really we're looking at this part when we say it. F of g of x, g of f of x. All right, so when we do this and we talk about it and we have it, you make sure you can go backwards and forwards on it, because they will give you both and they expect you to know how to do it. All right, so with this in the notes, we're going to see both of them again, just like we did when adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. We showed both. You will see the same thing in our notes here. All right, so let's go to example 1, where we're actually going to apply both of these.